guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of the beautiful Woodville here in City Skylines 2, where we're now witnessing one of the brand new ferries that we implemented in the last episode. This one's actually pretty zoomy right now, it is quite fast, but this now transports a bunch of passengers in a few different directions around the area. Now, I'm still undecided what I'm going to do with the rest of the area, whether I'm going to build the canal system going through. I'm not 100% sold on the idea right now, but we do have a few little areas and places and ways in which people can now cross, which does give them a little bit more variety. And we did start to build up this little bit of a tourist hotspot in the last episode. We got the quay walls all in, and hopefully today we're going to try and finalize a little bit more with a bit more leisure facilities, placing a few more buildings. But most importantly, I want to build a football stadium. And that's because I feel like this region could really do with a sports team. And having it in downtown Redwood is probably the best location for it, as well as many, many other things, and we'll get on to in just a moment. But before we get into it, there's a few things I need to solve. I've got to sort out the traffic issue we're experiencing over there. We're going to try and upgrade the infrastructure, see what's going down. And other than that, I think we're pretty much running problem-free, unless there's something I don't know about. Unreliable internet service. Okay, fine. We'll get some internet in as well. So if you guys are enjoying this series so far, please make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you do get notified when more episodes do come out. Guys, I really do appreciate you all watching right now. Again, if you do enjoy it, please smash the like button down below so I know you guys are enjoying it. So there's a few ways in which I can kind of improve this infrastructure scenario. Now, it does have an issue over here as well that kind of comes in waves. But I think the big one here is they could really do with a roundabout. I'm not going to lie right now. They could really do with a roundabout. But I'm going to see if I can kind of upgrade it without first implementing a roundabout. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just slightly increase the ability for them to have extra lanes. So if I choose to do that there, and then we go with that there, that instantly gives them 2 lanes to enter and exit this area. Now, at this point, you're like, okay, we are really going to need a roundabout, Zodiac. Hold on, okay? Hold on just a second. Hold yo horses right now. Hold yo horses. Now, we need 4 lanes. I'm sure there was like a really thin road that had 4 lanes, or am I thinking of something else? It's not in medium roads, is it? I don't want to go too bulky on this. And then again, to be honest with you, I could also just do it on this, but I'm going to have to anarchy it, unfortunately. There we go. This water tower is going to now need to be, well, basically not replaced, but rejigged. I'll put it actually in the town for a change. And now we've got multiple lanes. Now, without doing a roundabout, and I know you're thinking, Sonny, just drop a damn roundabout down right now. Let me just play around with some stuff. So remove unsafe, remove blah, blah, blah. And we set this now up. So what we're going to determine, looking at this way, that we have a dedicated left, and then this is the straight on and to the, no, dedicated right, straight on to the left. Here, we have a dedicated right, and then straight on and to the left. We have a dedicated right, straight into the left, and then we have a dedicated right, and then straight on and to the left. Now, coming from this way... Hold on, what happened here? Did I get rid of the wrong one? I think I did, didn't I? Yeah, there we go. That there kind of gives them the confirmation that you can always make that right turn, but it does cause a little bit of chaos in the center. Now, at this point, you could argue, okay, is it time for another lane? No, I really feel like roundabouts are going to be needed here. Now, I can funnel the vehicle traffic through. If I just kind of go for a little bit of a fast forward, that will get rid of the majority of it. And then, you know, it just gets caught up on that one side. But once it's now eventually cleared, do you think that will be okay in the future? Oh, snap. Hold on. I didn't realize I've caused power issues as well at the same time. Have I? Ah, okay. Because that road... Oh, okay. That was the main point there of where the power lines dragged through. Right, is that all good? Okay, we're back up and running, boys. We're back up and running. So, I like the idea of it. You get a uninterrupted right turn on all directions. It's just these guys have to stop and start, depending on where they're going to go. Now, I could keep it like that just for the sake of it and then see if traffic issues build up again in the future. Why have we got issues now over here? Ah, because this part of the road also connected in as well. Right, there we go. My apologies, guys. My apologies. So we'll see what happens now. We'll see what happens now in the future. If we start to see a backlog again, I'll drop a roundabout in. The only reason I'm kind of like staying away from it is just for the visual aspect of it. I didn't want to bulk up the infrastructure too much for this area, but if it's something that we're going to have to do, it's something that we're going to have to do, unfortunately. But I'll see if we can get away with it for a little while. Right, anywho, let's forget that for a minute. Other than that, traffic is pretty sweet generally around the area. So let's zoom into here then. We've got a little bit of a tourist hotspot here. We've got some hotels that we're never ever going to be able to rent the rooms out because we don't have enough tourism in the area. We've got 2 rooms rented out over here. So I need to drop some stuff down to make people want to come to this area. So the stuff that we can drop down, it is to do here. We've got parks, recreation, large parks, sports parks, large sports stadiums, which I want to implement a football stadium around this area. Tourism attractions, some of this stuff doesn't feel like it would fit in with what we've currently got on the go. Now, I could do a water park, but this is something that feels like it should be implemented down by the beach. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's a type of thing to be kind of implemented, let's say, around here. But at the same time, we've got the available space. So I could do the water park, the medieval castle. Does that make sense to have a medieval castle? In a weird way, it does. It's like the old town next to the new town. But let's first focus on the football stadium anyway. Let's first focus on this. So I've got a couple of stadium assets anyway. We've got the normal stuff, the American one. We've got the soccer field. But I've got the normal football stadium, which actually that's not a bad fit to go directly in there. Community pool, no. Basketball center, nah. Indoor pool, nah. The baseball field, which is quite a big one. Then we've got the normal sports field as well. I like the idea of this football stadium. Now, placing it here, I've got Anarchy enabled. Let me just drop that down and see what it looks like. Do you know what? It doesn't look too shabby being right on the end there. I might have to do minimal changes to actually implement this in. This is actually pretty glorious. Now, I wonder if I can then drag an alley-style road just cutting across here. So, if I can, this is where I'm then going to try and implement car parks. So I'm going to assume that is the straight drag run road. And how would a car park fit within this vicinity? So if I went for that style, I want the one that goes the opposite direction. Is it that one? No, it's not that one. Is it that one? Kind of, but it's too long. No. Right, which is the one I'm thinking of? Is it you? I mean, to be honest with you, I could go that size. That's not such a bad idea. Right, if I implemented you there and then implemented you there, how are we looking? Interesting is how we're looking. Right, let me get rid. Let me see what other variations I could maybe implement. That's way too big. I could do like the really long formatted one. That's not a bad idea. Oh, I think this is the one I was thinking of. But just to go along like that would mean I'd have to kind of slightly change that road. Right, if I... Let me just drop a row of these in. Because it's a football stadium. You are going to have to expect... Oh, no, it's gravel. No. I didn't want gravel. Right, delete all those. I apologize. Oh. No, that's what I just had in a minute ago, wasn't it? Yeah. Right, Seniac, just pick a damn car park right now, okay? Just pick a damn car park. I'm probably going to go for this one. We won't see that much vehicle traffic, but we'll drop you in there. Right, very nice, very nice, very nice. And do I build a perimeter road going around it now? So if I went around like this and then cut you in, very good. I can lay up some trees going around. We've got a nice car park approach coming in. We'll make it as walkable as we officially can. And we'll do, because we've got bus stops just there. So if I allow, well, if I first allow to be able to walk, let me get rid of the snapping as well. So from there to there, and then we'll run this going, yeah, we'll run this going just to there. And then what we'll do is we'll go for a nice cheeky bend. And then, do I bend it again? Just there. I'll do one just there. And then we'll run up just there. So we've got the cross in there, and that should be pretty handy. So we can drop a couple of buildings in, a couple of trees in and whatnot, and that sets us up quite nice. Now, do I slightly reposition this in terms of kind of... Oh, what happened there? Getting it just more centered. I don't ultimately think we're going to win too much, but that will do. That will actually do right now. It does provide a lot of leisure in the area. And once you get all the buildings fully fitted around, it should be pretty good. So in terms of leisure facilities now, I always forget what the leisure button looks like. I literally always forget. I'm sure it's this one here, isn't it? Yeah. And then tourism. Right, now we're adding more tourism around these hotspots. I'm just going to make the hotels make a bit more sense. You know what I mean? So let's get some commercial drop down to begin with. And we'll go with the southwest buildings. And we'll start with a little bit just here and here. And can I do one either side of there? Will it allow me? What if I got rid of you and then did that there? Nah, it doesn't really work like that. What if I scrapped you off? And I'll plant down some trees instead. So a little bit of commercial thrown in just here. And then I want to do some more road layouts, don't I? So I want to do a couple of like decent skyscrapery stuff around this area. So if I bring first and foremost this out, going to there and then closing it all the way up. And then I'm going to wiggle this road going through it. So if we come off there as well, that's your snap. Bring you down. And then, bam, nice little bend. Run you in. And then we're just going to create a nice little bend coming out here. So I'm creating little mini alleyways where we're going to place down some medium density buildings. And I want to create another little area like this. So where that kind of creeps in, which looks pretty sweet, I'm going to do the same thing here. So bringing you out. Let me go to normal there. Bringing you up to cut you in. So you get different zoning in different areas. Bring you out that way. Bring you down this way. And then I'm going to bring a little strip up just there. And bring you out there. So the entry point is there, but we will make it as walkable as we possibly can. And so we'll do a little... Let me put a bend on this one. Do a little bend just there. We'll do a... I don't want to ruin any of the zoning too much as well. I don't want to cross in. But we'll go a little bend just there. And then... we'll go from there. Little bend just in. And then I'll sacrifice this little strip here. As it turns in there. Right, that's as far as I'll take that little bit. And that will kind of turn into like this little area over here. Which will look really nice. So that will build up a bit of medium density. We've got some commercial being dropped in right now. And that is the southwest, I believe. Is it medium or high density? I think it's the medium density, isn't it? Yes. So we will now place in what we can place in. So if I actually just kind of like fill the gaps up, they'll just kind of build themselves. It doesn't really matter because the way it's kind of like, you know, zoned out, you won't really get too big of a building being thrown in. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Now this one I might, on certain parts anyway, have to play around with the sizing. Unless we can get away with some stuff there. But if I went that there and then this here, and then I did that there, that there, that there, and then that there, you get a few different styles of building being dropped in now. And you get a couple just there. And commercial. Now we'll stick to all residential. I'm just going to drop that whole section in and just see what we get out of that. Because that'll be an interesting, like, having the larger buildings in terms of size being dropped among it. So it's not all the same asset that you're getting. If that makes much sense. So I don't think it will automatically update my... Okay, we're getting a few more people stopping in this hotel. I'm not going to stress about the hotels. It's not something that I want to fix or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just a byproduct of what we've got on the go. Now, over here, we'll get some more commercial in because this is the road leading down to the beach. So what we'll do, get back to that southwest zone stuff right now, and we will kind of go pretty big. I'll go a 4. Yeah, we'll go a 4 leading up to there. We'll do a 4 here as well. Nice strip of commercial coming up. Might as well go for the full distance. We'll do a 4 there, and then that's not really a 4, but I'll go with it. I'll go with it. It'll still work for us. Right. Very good, boys. Very good. There's already cars parking up over here now, by the way. We'll change that as well to 15 big ones. I also need to get rid of the random... Okay, I'm sure there was random trees then planted in. I'm sure of it. Right, is there any more stuff I could maybe squeeze in? Oh, the water park. Right, the water park. Where could I put this? Where would this make sense? Now... Let me just throw it here for a minute. Let me just throw it here. What does the building look like? Okay, it's not what I assumed it was going to be looking like. So it doesn't really need... It's got like storage containers as well. It doesn't really need to go next to the beach. I can pull it over here. I can make it as... like it can make it feel like it's part of the complex of the hotel. So with that said, if I moved you to here... And then if I deleted this path and instead went for the narrow road kind of vibe there, I could theoretically put you... Right, this is not what I was thinking. But if I put you there, which then allowed me to put you here, does it feel as part of the hotel complex is what I'm trying to get at? I don't know. I don't know, but I'll keep it like that anyway. Alright, there we go. Connection there. We'll do a nice little connection... Just bending down there. And then, of course, we are going to throw a bunch of trees in as well. Let's not get mixed up with what we're doing there. Is this the same building? It is the same style building. Why are they like different levels? Oh, it's because they're not leveled up yet, have they? That's what it is. Right. Vegetation, oak trees, and go big or go home. So let me just focus on getting... a bunch of trees in here. What we've missed around there. And we are going to focus on bulking up the trees around the football stadium. I don't want no zoning around it. I want it to be all tree. Right, so get rid of the anarchy, and then we... Okay, you know what? Forget the anarchy. We'll place them down manually. And fill that up. And then we'll do these little nooks and crannies then here. Gotta make it feel like all it's part of that area. Alright, sort this out, and then we are good. Right, it all makes it feel like it's part of the vibe of the area. And it integrates itself pretty nice within downtown Redwood now as well. So we will see a bit of traffic now as people are going to move into this area. It's just inevitable. It really is. And we've now got actually one person renting the room. So somebody really liked the idea right now, boys, of going to the swimming pool. Right, that's pretty good. Got some commercial being dropped in over here. So now we've got all this to kind of work. So I'm thinking we'd maybe turn this into a bit of a shopping district. Do we have any signature buildings that maybe would be beneficial? I know we got the bookshop stuff, but is there anything that we're awfully close from unlocking with my zoned things? We got the hotels there. We could get pretty close to the art store with the zoning. The Westwood Center. Ooh. Okay, that's pretty good. Right, let me do some road layouts now. Let's do some road layouts. So, I'm thinking we go around the back of the car park, obviously. Do I cut this down? I'm going to cut that through there. Right. And then we're going to run down this. So let me just change... Oh, no, I'm not liking that. Do you know what? Actually, no, because the building's going to be pretty small anyway. So it kind of does make a bit of sense. Run you into there. Run you into there. I like that it's not as organized as you would think it would be. Right, that runs onto that junction. Nice, interesting staggered junction. Alright, there we go. There we go. And then we bring you to there. You to there. And then let's end that there like that. And then do walkable paths. That feels about right. It does feel about right. So I'll walk this going up. I'll do a crossing for the fun of it. And is there anywhere else that could really benefit from walkability? Now, maybe walking down the back here would seem pretty handy. And then walking down there. And then we'll do a nice little side street, sidewalk going just down there. Now, what's that? That is a large building that I've now just slightly oofed. But now it's been kept in because I've readjusted the path. Right. Very good. Very good, very good, very good. So, signature building wise, let me see what I can squeeze in first and foremost. So, that'll be pretty handy. Supermarket's a bit too much. A UK petrol station. It's actually a pretty good idea to have a petrol station in the vicinity. We've got some pub stuff as well. I do like the idea of dropping in some pub stuff. It does give us a completely different vibe altogether. So drop you there. I'm gonna like double up on the pubs. And okay, that maybe didn't work out that well. That didn't work out that well, did it? Right, reposition you to go there. No, oh no, I've messed up now. Right, we'll use the move it tool. Ta-da! Couple of pubs drop down. Nice. Any other signature buildings we can maybe utilize? Is that the Welsh pub? It is. Yeah, we'll leave it for now. Right, southwest zoning then. I don't think you can get anything off that. I don't know if anything's going to be built off this. But we'll fill all this up. I fill all the little nooks and crannies up first. I might as well just go all out. Might as well just go all out. So nice big shopping area leading down to here. So it kind of makes a bit more sense now to actually utilize this because it's within distance of shopping. And I don't know whether to make this a little bit more residentially. But low density like we've got over there. Right, they'll level up soon and start to get a little bit bigger. Yeah. Oh, a lot of car parking. That's another point as well. Car parking. I know we got a car park just over here. But more locally is very, very beneficial. So we'll squeeze you. Where have we got some dead spots? Looking at it. We got some dead spot there. So what if I went for a longer variant here? I know that's going to oof a couple of buildings. Which is sad. $15 parking fee. They can enter in from there, which is fine. And let me delete that. You'll get a different size building. And if I deleted this, you get another building get dropped in. Right, I'm going to delete that, and in return, place down normal, so you get the different length of building. Easiest way I can put it. So a little car park thrown in there, which is pretty handy. I'm going to make it more approachable, that car park as well. We'll do a little path that kind of comes from the back. Maybe that was a bit too far. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that, if I'm being honest with you. Not too sure, but this end of this area is looking pretty nice. We might have to reevaluate public transport, but I will get some more car parking within this area, because a lot of people park on the side streets. You know what I mean? A lot of people park in there. These multi-level ones are the best ones to go with. I might just drop one in. Because it is quite a busy area down here. We could... It would be beneficial to have a multi-story. But it depends on where the road's going to run first. That's the case. That is the case. So let's play around with some road layouts then. So if I brought this coming down first. So I know that's going to run off there. I could drop a big car park here. Which maybe then allows me to run this road going down. Right, let me get rid of the bendy wendies. So there. Where you... could very awkwardly run a diagonal there. Okay. Add the upgrade to it. Because I gotta remember, them buildings over there will eventually upgrade to these sizes. But I've got car park in there. Nice decent structure nearby the football stadium. I will extend this. And at what point can I get a bend in? Just there. And then maybe we should have decided to bend this in pretty soon. Like that. And then we'll bring this down. Like there. I'll bring this up. For no particular reason, I've decided to kind of create a loop. Which I'm going to run straight down to there. For no particular reason. No particular reason at all, but it kind of then creates a nice little suburb effect. So I'll do walkability over everything else first. Right, there we go. And I'll run this going down here. And of course, run you going down there. And I'll allow them to then choose which direction they want to walk in after that. So we'll roll with that first, which is pretty handy. And I don't like it's the same style building everywhere. So I'm going to choose instead in little pockets. And it might give us a little bit more variety. So let me just get rid of the buildings there. And we'll get a different variant now come out of this. Or at least I think I will. At least I think I will anyway. Can I fast forward? Because I'm not a fan of them all looking the same. It does look a little bit weird. But let's see what we get coming out of that. And then we'll place down some normal zoned housing. So let me just fill some of this, which is quite easy to implement like a certain style before I then decide that I want to choose a certain layout. Alright, let's go with that for now. Right, did the buildings change much? They did, but there's still quite a bit of what I don't want. So I reckon I kind of like get rid of you. If I chopped you in the middle there, chopped you. And so I delete you, you're now going to get different styles of building. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it all looking the same, if I'm being honest with you. This is looking pretty nice. I'm liking how that's now set up. Now we do have this little gap here to play with as well. Trees will make a big difference. Huge difference. High density commercial. That's an interesting concept, isn't it? So if I did like a small variant, how big is that building going to be? So this will be interesting because it's going to add a little bit of height in the middle. Right, we are getting a few different variants right now. So then placing down some trees will make such a huge difference. It's different if you look from that angle, but on the roofs all look the same, don't they? I think that's what's throwing me off, is it's the roofs that look the same. And I'll plant some of these big trees around the car park. I'm intrigued to see how big that commercial building there is going to be. Oh, that fits in quite nice. That does fit in quite nice. So nice, in fact, I'm going to actually throw some of that down over here. So if I went there, I went there. Right, delete that building. And you'd have some different variations now coming in. Right, okay. I'm only going to drop trees now in areas I know are finalized. Very trigger happy with the brushes, aren't I? With the trees. Alright, there we go. And then the last thing I'm going to do is place the odd tree in a front yard on the buildings to make it feel like, you know, the owners planted a tree in their front garden. And that's what we get from there. And now it feels like a suburb. I've got these little spaces here. I'm not too sure what to do with them. Could place down some park area. Give them something within the vicinity. It's all dependent. I mean, that's a good point as well. I could put down... A soccer field's too big. Baseball field, way too big. Sports field, way too big. So if I go for these smaller variants of it. So outdoor gym. Now these feel a little bit too small now. I'm not going to lie. We've got the skate park. You know what? We'll implement the skate park. That's kind of a fun little thing to get in. And I'm thinking then I'll throw in a like a, I mean, how large is large? That's pretty large, isn't it? Do you have like a little like plaza or a small park? Nah, a bit too overkill. That's completely overkill. Amplifier's completely overkill. Corridor stuff. You know what? I'm going to put that little corridor thing in here. Let me see how this looks. Because it'll allow me to also create a path there that walks through. And then we just fill in the dead space with a tree. So it kind of feels like it's a little bit of a plaza area. See, that's kind of nice. I do like that. I like that how that's kind of situated itself. Liking how this has all now come together. And I want to do something very similar over here as well. So I don't really pay much attention to all this park stuff. I really don't do anything with it, do I? So it's kind of nice to be able to. What's that there? It's a 4x12 park. So throwing that in there. And then if I'm able to... come off you there. Okay, it doesn't class that as path. So I'm not going to mess around with that one. Not a campfire. Small plaza. See, a small plaza is always pretty good. It can be pretty good. Dog park. What's that there? Hilly playground? The wide one? Ah, okay. That goes a different direction, the tiny one. I could do another one here. Actually, if I do two placed on one another like this. Let me see what I can kind of get up with at this point. So, obviously, you have that connection there. That connection there. Actually, no. Because these now spread out, don't they? They do spread out. So if I was to instead go here on the spacing, that reaches there, and then do here on the spacing. Right, it doesn't quite reach over. Okay, that's where you've got to go. A little bit closer on that. So we'll go to here. Well, that covers all there. So if I then went there to there with you, you get this very interesting area. Now, it is two contrasting different colours. I don't know whether you get like a random colour when you place these down. Where's the parks? You do. So I think it's kind of about just finding the same shade that places down. That's as close as I'm probably going to get it without trying over and over and over again. Isn't it? So, I'm going to delete that. Just add in the last path for the final time. There we go. And then what I'll do is I could I'll place down some trees and stuff. I could do a decent sized commercial building there. And then the rest we're going to put down trees. I've decided that's how we're going to do it. Right. Really bulk up that area. It creates a plaza. Because you normally see these type of plazas around like sports stadiums and stuff anyway. So it does, it makes sense. It's not unusual. It makes sense. So we're starting to get more tourists stopping here. But I'm feeling like it's got to be a lot of stuff. Maybe they're a little bit out of the way. Maybe I reposition this one. And try and integrate this around here somewhere. Where, though, is the big question. If I put it there, maybe. It's within this vicinity. It's within the vicinity anyway. And then just going to bulk all that up there. Right, that area now looks really good. I'm happy with how that's now turned out. And I think it just finishes the little the kind of the peninsula off pretty nice. I really think it does. I like the fact we got a sports stadium in there. And last thing I want to take a look at for this is public transport. So we've got the bus stops there, which is fine because we've got a little walkway to kind of get over here. It tears through, goes down to there. Yeah, the public transport is completely fine. It is completely fine. Did I have something in this area? Or have I completely left it blank this whole time? I don't quite remember. But I'm going to get some higher density maybe thrown in. I'll keep that road as awkward as it is. And then we'll go for some zoning, some residential. And we'll see what we can place in here. What comes from all of this. So it might be the same building repeated over and over again. It might be. It's that style of building, so we've got to be a bit careful it's not the same thing. Car park's getting pretty full. How full is this one right now? We didn't really... Oh, no, we did change the price. It's 71. Right, that does work. That does work. Right, let me come back to that then. So, traffic. Okay, we're still having the traffic over here by the looks of it. Or is it... Did I just check it at the wrong time? Because they're all now making that right turn. Did I just check it at the wrong time? Because the lane that has... Maybe there was like a crash that I didn't know anything about. Everything in my mind is telling me to put a roundabout. But my body's saying no. I don't know why I'm so stuck up with doing that. Right, how's this looking? It fits within the theme. So we'll keep it. Drop in a couple of trees. Nice. That makes this area look really, really nice. I'm happy with how this has turned out in downtown Redwood. I really, really am. So through this bit here will be pretty much all suburbs. We can kind of continue the style that we've got over here. So that would be running it down and then kind of sprawling it out into like some beachfront properties or something like that. So if I brought that down to there and then we went for the ability to kind of then sprawl it or kind of cut in on itself. There we go. Come on, boy, bend. There we go. There we go. So that all kind of frails itself. We'll do the paths first. So we'll have a little connection there, which is pretty handy. We'll run. A little connection running down there. And then here. Connections are over there. So let me start with some beachfront zoning, which is, I say beachfront, it's waterfront properties. And we'll go with bam bam. And let me now do this. So we'll have one there. There, there, there. We'll do one there. Here, here. Might as well fill a lot of this in. One there, 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 there. And then we'll do like the southwest medium density, or do I go low density? I might give us a little bit of medium density just around the supermarket area. There we go. Throw them in just there. And then, of course, do what I do best. Trees. Trees, 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 trees. All right, there we go. That fills a little bit more of that area now up. Because I don't want to go over the top of the zoning, because then you've got like millions of people and then traffic is a big issue. Right. Where's that junction? So the only thing to make that little 90-degree turn better is making it more of a slingshot so they're not slowing down. So I could actually attempt that, because I know that is the majority, the majority of it is the used routes. So if I pick, for example, you, and then you, and then upgrade to an asymmetrical, you that way, you that way. If I then delete that, right, delete the trees, delete that, it will still be a 90-degree bend, but it's more of a slingshot for them. So they haven't got to slow down as much. Placing a tree there is devious work. That is dangerous to a whole new level, isn't it? Seniac will do anything but put a roundabout here, wouldn't he? So that fixed that one direction, but then when they want to exit the area, this becomes my next issue. So what if I did a small roundabout here then? So now they take turns. And it's magic. But they're still able to do a right turn there, which they shouldn't be able to. I don't know whether I can kind of turn that off. No right turns. No, but that is the quicker route anyway. They'll take that. So I mean that's sufficient enough by the looks of it. I mean you get the traffic coming in waves. It looks like it's sufficient enough. Down here is another issue. But I think this might need it to be bulked up with the 4-lane roads as well. So if I did you there and then did you there, you've got your dedicated runs of road now. So if I did some lane connector stuff and got rid of all the unsafe turns, and let's say that I mean, it's that... a roundabout here would be good as well. I'm sure we had a roundabout in the first place, didn't we? Well, I'll drop one in. I've dropped one in, boys. I don't like how it's kind of going uphill there. So we'll make it raise into the bridge as it goes. Right. It's not great. But I'm trying to keep it to its original format as much as I can. But I think I'm just fighting a losing battle, aren't I? I really do think I am. Right. Do you reckon the quay wall should continue to go down here and then just kind of end in this area? I really like the idea of the quay wall. And I feel like it should continue down here. So, pathways, quay wall, stuffs, and... I forgot how I meant to do this. Does it just attach like that? Why have I now got a chunk on the edge? Snap to shoreline? Yes, please. Oh, I don't even... I've just realised I don't have the snap on. I don't even have the snap on. Oh, that's better. And then coming round. So I'm going to have to play around with how this is going to kind of end, aren't I? I might rock it off. Right, what's going on with this bit, though? That bit's not playing ball, is it? What's up with this bit? Do you reckon it's because I need to come the opposite way? Do you reckon I need to change which side? It's on? Kind of weird that was, wasn't it? It was kind of weird. But I like it. I like the quay wall. I do like it. Might be a bit too wiggly there. But that will do. And I think I might just like rock it. Like I've done there with the rocks. We can rock it off here. With these big boys. So... reduce that down dramatically. Let me just play around with placing down a large selection of rocks. And then we manually place them. Oh, how does that look? I think it's a nicer way to end it. It feels like it was man-made. You know what I mean? That's how I feel anyway. That is how I feel. We got debris. Right, let's not go down that road then. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure there is something else I could maybe potentially utilize. But I'm not too sure. Because I actually don't know how I find this stuff. I think I did get some boat items. But I don't know where you would... oh, these are them, aren't they? So I've basically got myself a fishing boat. Are these them? That I can put near, like, the harbours. So I could place that there. I don't know if I got these or whether they were already in here. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. So now I have some boats parked up on these little pier areas. It adds a nice little touch to it, doesn't it? It does add a nice little touch. And then do you reckon I should finalise this area? I don't know how this will work with... You know, you got these little wooden... boardwalks? Is that the best way to put it? How does that look? Does that look a little bit weird now? I mean, it fits in, doesn't it? It fits in with it. It's like it's a part of it. And I just need to now redo this. I can't remember how I redid this. I'm sure it was something to do with... You go to surfaces and then... Ah, there you go. So make it where the sand goes underneath. There we go. That's a bit better. Because what I was thinking of, if I put them there, because people can walk down, which is pretty cool. But I might be able to then throw in some boats. You know what I mean? That's a bit too high in the water, isn't it? That was way too high. Look at me go, boys. Soniac's doing decals right now. Or assets, whatever you want to call them. Who'd have seen this coming, boys? Not me. Not me right now. Alright, there we go. I'm taking it too far now. I gotta calm down. I gotta calm down. Right. I think we'll end this for here, boys. This was quite an interesting episode to focus solely on one area. Very, very interesting right now. It's not something I normally do. I've somehow killed power off over here. That's because I've upgraded roads. Of course it is. When will I learn? The answer's never. I will never learn. And same thing is now happening over here because obviously I've upgraded the road. Right, that now should fix things, right? Are you not connected? This strip of power line is not connected. Let me go diagonal. Right, we're back in business. We're back in business right now. We can rest a little bit easier. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below, boys. Very interesting setup we've got on the go right now, and hopefully it provides a lot of leisure facilities for the people living around it. Right, next episode we'll go back to our usual expansions. Many, many things that we got to build. Also, many, many traffics now coming in. Oof. Until next time, I'll see you all soon, so goodbye.